So when you open the browser, it will go from, when you open the browser, it will load from the storage to RAM, hard disk to RAM. Then you give your input, that is your search in. That will go to the main memory and processor will process that. And that will go to the output too. And according to this main memory, in the instructions given by you, downloading will happen and it will come to the RAM first, the main memory. So everything happened through the RAM, right? RAM is the main place which everything happens. Everything must go through the RAM. Even should go through the here you can see in this diagram. Input should go through RAM. Storage should go through RAM. Output should go through RAM. CPU again the RAM. RAM is the main center. Right, then when you download, it will load to the RAM, then to the storage, and you can also see in the output. And when you open in back RAM, again it will load to the RAM for installing purpose, then process it. Processing means installation, and then it will be storage in the storage after downloading. Then install a driver software by newly connected to hardware. So when you newly connect a hardware, right? When you newly connect a hardware, first RAM, sorry, here RAM will, so everything, so drivers will be loaded to the RAM. Driver search will loaded to the RAM through the hard drive, and processor will try to assist. Processor will try to assist discovering the driver. Since driver is not there, so it's requesting the driver. You have to get the driver again from hard disk, from storage. From storage, driver will be loaded to the RAM. And again, processor will be running the driver and it will be installed back to the storage. Right? The storage, even though that is there in the storage, to install that to storage, you need the assistant of RAM and processor. So that is the thing, right? Even though the file is there in storage, hard you need the assistance of RAM and processor. Uninstalling the software. Again, you need the assistance. When you uninstall, you have to give the input command, and that will be go to the main memory of the RAM. And RAM will set this to the CPU for understanding purpose of the processor. Processor will understand the instruction and it will load the software uninstallation program to the RAM. From hard disk. Hard disk has the uninstallation program, it will be loaded to the RAM. And through that, to remove something from hard disk also, you need the assistance of RAM and CPU. And then, according to RAM and CPU process, so removing will happen, deleting from happen, hard disk side. So that is how the uninstallation happens. And turn on the computer and log into the user account. Turn on the computer. So basically, first BIOS and drivers from read-only memory will be loaded to the random access memory, because everything should be loaded to the main memory. Main memory ke tiyena ROM එකේ තියෙන එකක් RAM එකට load වෙන්න ඕනේ. And then processor must execute the ROM instructions, and it should understand and it should do kind of, that's called post power on self test. That is done by the processor with the help of RAM to check in basic hardware required to turn on. the machine. If this is passed, if this power on self test is passed, then what will happen? Then it will processor will discover the operating system in storage and will be loaded to the random access memory. Then OS will be loaded to the RAM. And then you will be given input username and password. And that will go to the RAM again, and processor will process that. And then you will be displayed the output based on that. Anyway, throughout the process, you can see the output, right? So throughout the process, you can see the output. Here also you can see the output. And here also you can see the output. Throughout the process, you can see the output. That simultaneously output will happen. Right, anyway, now, so what is important here, you have to understand, without, so secretly, so without letting processor and RAM know the things happening in the computer, you cannot do anything. RAM එකටයි processor එකටයි හොරෙන් මොකුත් computer එකේ කරන්න බෑ. Input, output, storage, installation, uninstallation, loading, turning on, turning off, deleting, everything should be acknowledged and should happen through RAM and processor. So that is the idea of that. Understood? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. So this is the basic process, okay. So then, so let's move to the next part. Right now, you know how computer acts and how computer works. So the next is basically in this lesson 1. So let's move to the other components. So you should know, so I'm not going to write these small things. Meaningless means why you tell data are meaningless. Data meaningless because it's confusing. Right? It's confusing. So if you say red, so you might tell it's a color, but what is red planet? Is it a color or planet? Red planet?
Mars.
It's a
Planet.
It's a planet. So what about red data book? It's a book, right? Having the endangered species listed over there in the red data book. Ratu Datta Pota, red data book. And then what is red notice? It's a warning, right? Red notice is a warning. So likewise, red is basically when it take along, it's meaningless. And you know, so there's a red in Sri Lanka also. This one, red Rajamalige. There's something called red. So he named himself as red. Right. So basically, you know, red. When you take red alone, it does not convey. Maybe you can say a color, but it is not much meaningful. So that is the nature of data. It's not much meaningful. You cannot say meaningless. So that is like okay. That is crime to tell that data are meaningless because we have to treat data. Then only we have information because of data. So better to tell less meaningful rather than say meaningless. I don't like this word. I like less meaningful rather than saying meaningless because don't blame data that much, right? And it is not organized, you know, it's not organized. That is the nature. And it is informal, right? It is informal too. You have 3 type of data in the computer. So those are text, audio, and visual. So not video, it should be visual. Even graphics are coming under visual. So text, characters, files, folders having text, right? And audio data can be the noise, voice, music, everything audio. What is noise, what is voice, and what is music? Noise is some like unwanted
Noise is
sounds,
sound. Yeah,
right?
sound.
So in the
Because
background, maybe you can hear unwanted sounds. Time to time, those are called noise. Voice means, so how we talk using our voice. And music or melodies means some systematically arranged notations, systematically arranged sounds. So we call organized sounds. That's music. Right? All these are audio data. When it comes to visual data, you can say images, graphics, art, animation, video, everything coming under right audio data. So let's write in front of that. Audio data can be noise, voice, melody, music. Everything belongs to audio. Visual data, art, graphic, picture, drawing, animation, video.
the picture.
Yeah, picture. So those are art. It's like some kind of illustration. Graphic can be mixture of art and picture, drawing, everything, mixture, anything. Picture means still taken, capturing a real life scene, scenario. That is picture. Drawing means basically it's a concept. It's not real life. It's a concept. And animation. What is animation? Yes. What is animation? And what is
What's that?
video?
Animation is like a real thing which is I mean
Is it real?
It's
it's
a set of
animated.
frames, no sir. Frames, pictures, like drawn things taken into a continuous flow of frames.
Yes. Drawings. Basically, not pictures, right? Drawings. Drawings, that means illustrations or concepts are created. Actually, it's a sequence of these illustrations. For an example, you can see, so if you are an adult over 18 years old still watching cartoons, so if someone like okay, Borlugoda is putting stone over Galpatha,
Yeah,
something like that.
girls path.
Okay, so but that is not real thing. Oh, Sura Papa, Veda Papa things and all these things are not real things, right? You know, these are illustrations, concepts. Nothing happen in real drawings, right? So these drawings, basically you sequence it according to some order. So then it is called animation. So basically, if you play more than 25 such drawings per second, our eye cannot recognize those separately because before wiping out the preview of the previous image, the next image appearing in our eye means we cannot distinguish the difference between different frames. So at least you have to maintain 25 fps, 25 frames per second. Otherwise, you can see
Like
it's like,
flip books.
sorry,
Even like do you know flip books?
flip books. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Ah, yeah, yeah. That
yeah,
thing, right? Black
yeah.
and white thing, sir.
Yes, flip books, and I think you have done this the cartoon, that pictures of this
Macromedia
book
flash.
animation in cartoon.
There's something called macromedia flash.
Yeah, it also has, but earlier days the manual one.
Yeah, yeah, so that one.
Manually here you can see you write down something in the book and you turn the book faster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's only book. What
Flip
flip
book.
book?
Hmm.
Flip book. That's only
Flip book,
flip
yeah.
book.
Flip book, but the thing is that so you can draw a cartoon and
Side.
do that in the corner of the book. I think you have done in
Hmm.
the little areas. But body kale. කොනේ පොතේ අග චුටියට
Once
ඇඳලා
upon a
කාඩ්
time.
එකක් වගේ you used to do that.
Once upon a time.
Okay, right. That's good. So that is called book animation is in this flip book, right? Okay, so that is animation. That is how it happens. And the next one is you should know the next one is right, the second one or the next one is video, right? Just give me a second, right? Okay, right. Okay, so we were discussing about this animation. Then video means it's not a drawing or illustration. Basically a real life stills or pictures are captured and again that played back. So then that is called a video. But it's still it's a set of pictures, right? None other than that. So let me show one. Okay, let's see. Let's open this one and you can see here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What you can see?
Kissing booth 2.
Yeah, that's what you can see basically. Is it a
Beautiful
picture?
lady. No.
Picture or yeah, picture or something?
Video.
Is it a video
Video.
or picture?
It's
Oh,
a,
picture,
now it's
sir.
a picture.
At the
Now
moment,
it's a picture.
picture.
Now it's a picture.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
If you further break down this, right? Let me further break down this, and okay. I'm going to further break down, right, by capturing this. Okay, I have captured this, and now I'm going to open this. So we ask the capture this one. Let's open this using some editing app like Photoshop, and till it opens, let's move to the next one. So you can see another frame, another frame, another frame, another frame, another frame. But frames are playing continuously, then you can't distinguish between the frames. You can see it's actually happening like, right? So that's the difference. But anyway, these are actually a set of frames, only still, right? But those are playing faster, so changing faster. Therefore, we cannot see the difference between. So we cannot distinguish the difference between each frame. So we will see as a real scenario.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So nothing called video actually. Some all pictures. So when you zoom this, let's further break down. When you zoom this, you can see zoom, zoom, zoom. And I'm again zooming, 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 zooming. Nothing, none other than dots. You can see these are called pixels.
Pixels, yeah.
Only the pixels. If you count the pixels, if you take one pixel, let's take one pixel. Further breakdown, right? You have all these things in different subjects, right? Let's further break down this pixel. I'm going to right click on the pixel and using Alt key and right click the pixel, and I'm going to capture copy color as hex code. So right, one pixel. Let's break down further. And now you can see that pixel is none other than a number. So this is the number. When I take that picture, this is the number. This is hexadecimal number. Hexacode. Another one, copy hexacode. And you can see this is the hexa number. And when you further break down the hexa number, 0100 E means 111001 0011 100100 1001. That is the signal there. If you further break down this is 0 voltages, 5 voltages, 0 voltages, 5 voltages, for high volt and low volt signal, right? Multiple millions of these signals are processed within the processor. So that's why processor is gigahertz speed. Hertz means 1 per second. Kilohertz means 1000 per second. Megahertz is millions per second. Gigahertz means billions per second. So processor process multiple billions of these signals per second. So you can see the video smoothly. That's all, right? So can you understand how this is done? The data processing is
Then
applicable
slow
in
motion videos with
slow
960
motion
fps,
video.
not
Basically, what it does, it captures more than 30,
960
like you can capture like 60 frames per second. Some phones are there, they are capable of capturing 960 frames per second.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
recent mobiles I
20.
have seen 960
It's,
frames per second means my god, so that super slow motion. So because then you have to play only 25,
Yeah.
right? Like 960
Slow
capture
motion.
karata, Visipak play kara mati. So what
Mm.
happens if you capture 960 frames per second? Let's say you capture 1000 frames per second and you play only 25 per second. And then you have 1000 divided by 25 means it's 400, no? 400 or 40? 40. Yes, 40. It's 40 seconds. You can make 1 second video, 40-second slow motion. Understood?
Sure.
1 second video, you can drag it for 40 seconds by slowing down. So
uh, I,
what happened in a 1 second, just within a second, you can show it using 40 seconds, 1 minute. So that is called slow motion. And what is time lapse? The other hand, what is time?
that's faster.
The faster one.
Sir,
How can I?
960 frames per second, right, sir?
Yeah, 960 frames per second.
It differs, man, machine.
Even I have 960.
Yeah, most of the phones are having now. The recent mobile phones are having 960 FPS.
Yeah.
That means you can 1 second you can drag for 40 seconds. 1 second thing, 1 second occurrence, maybe within a second. So, for example, okay, let's say bullet hitting glass in slow motion, right? Bullet resistant glass and bullet hitting glass. So anyway, you can see anything. So within 1 second, this happen even fraction of a second. But using that, so you should be able to show like this, but don't try to shoot and see. Right?
Alright.
Can be done. So in your phone, I think it's capable of showing this.
Super slow motion. Yeah.
Mm. So a scenario like this can be shown.
So, but still, that's very fast, right?
Yeah, still is fast.
To take the exact moment.
Yes, because it's a fraction of a second thing, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Slow.
So likewise, very fast things you can super slow motion. But so this 960 FPS is not really good for showing human actions because then it looks like
Humans are
nothing.
humans are slow.
Humans will be slow.
Human behaviors are very slow.
Yeah.
960 FPS is like 960 FPS slow motion, like slow motions are. So this is 961, is it? Yes,
Hmm.
this is 961. A balloon, you can show this one, right? This is also a fraction of a second. You can try for this one.
This is Walter. Good morning, Walter. He's that guy that's been at the job longer than anyone. Morning, Walter. He stopped trying, and now he just.
This is one thing.
rotate the ball with water.
Yeah.
It's
Let
not
me go
that.
over there. Oh, the balloon. Oh my god.
Oh,
You can
We can literally see the
make
water
it
is
still
still
like
there.
this, right?
Mm.
Then you can see balloon is not there, only water is there. You can show the
Nice.
shape.
yeah.
So this is
Looks very nice.
you have S9 or something like this.
No, sir. Not in light.
Okay. Here also you can see.
Walter. Good morning, Walter. He's a guy that's been at the job longer than anyone. Morning, Walter.
So these kind of things you can try.
Yeah. Must try this.
After S9, every phones have even like
Oh,
21 and all
yeah.
has slow mo.
Because, wow.
The water is like in the air.
Yeah.
Gravity is there.
So that's you can show is in super slow. This is 960 FPS now. Right.
Mm.
Okay. So anyway, now you know the concept behind this. So anyway, so if you learn like this, it's nothing, right? That's why I'm asking always to explore the subject. So these are theory subjects. Otherwise, it's like boring to teach these subjects even, right?
Mhm.
Theory subjects, but you have to learn with the concept. So what's actually there. So then it will become practical. So every theory you can convert that to practical. Okay,
Yes.
then the next one is about information and features, characteristics of information. So we learned that the features of information, and so there are some qualities expected by the information that we didn't mention in our note. So what are the qualities of information? So when you create information, these qualities must be there. Qualities, not features, right? Qualities of information. So what are the qualities? What do you think? What should be there when you create information? What should be there?
Uh,
It should be accurate, no?
yeah, accurate, relevancy, timeliness, completeness,
Yes.
completeness.
Relevant.
Yeah, relevancy,
It should be timely.
timeliness,
Timeliness should be considered.
completeness,
And
and cost effectiveness.
yes, cost effectiveness
Completeness all.
and the completeness. And should not, again, someone that this is not there in the book, I think, but still important. Should not,
It's there in the grade 10 book.
yes, should not violate. So grade 10 book, only these five are there.
Yeah.
So
Should not
should not
violate.
violate the
It's not there.
law and must be ethical to keep the privacy and need to consider about these are also required consider about need to consider about the uh, sensitivity of information. So freedom of information is there, so you can collect it free. Freedom of information act is also there, but the thing is you have to be always be mindful when collecting information. So you should not violate the law. Do not disclose the sensitive information. For an example, so if you got to know, for an example, salary or the wealth of some person, but you should not disclose unless if it is like sometimes it's violating the law. You have to think about that. If you know court
Phishing.
case and what's happening over there internally,
Yeah.
so don't so court case එකක් වගේ වෙනකොට ඒකේ තියෙන ඒවා කිව්වොත් එහෙම දන්නවනේ වෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා. So violating law. If you violating law, it will be a problem. And again, another thing is must be ethical. So the today's media. So the recent crime we have seen in Facebook a lot in
Yeah.
using the media, but that is not ethical. No? So basically, we don't know the problems inside. So before a crime discovery, we should not disclose the. So this happened in India. There was a rape murder. but till they discover the final, till the law discover the victim as well as the murderer, till then the name of the victim was not given to the media by police.
Oh.
Even name was not given.
Oh.
Only after the death and only after the case only they release. But that is also, I think it's not the correct name, so they have not this. So that is ethics. In Sri Lanka, it's upside down. So, and the
No ethics.
what happened in the
Zero.
corona period, what happened, even you got COVID, that is a crime. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why people were really afraid to go for medicine. Right? That's why people were hiding. Because I think my idea is the main reason is media. So they gave unnecessary unnecessary violation.
False.
They have done
Yeah.
unnecessary violation of privacy. That's the reason for most of the people to hide. So they think that this is like a socially that sexual transmitted disease or something like that. So they are afraid to show that they are sick or some like even symptoms they are hiding.
Oh.
And then need to consider about this sensitivity of the information. Sensitivity, that means passwords. If you got to know passwords of some people, don't disclose. So without informing, no, without actually, it's not good to disclose password, salary information, credit card information, pin numbers, all these things. So you have to think about that also. That is not there in red 10 book. So that's why all five are there in the red 10 book, but unfortunately this is not.
Sixth one is not there.
Yeah, 60s. 60 is important. That is like sixth sense. Right. Okay, so with that, I'll stop for today. Right. So I'll finish the lesson. The first lesson is not a big lesson, so next day we can finish it. So only I think we discuss most of the things. And yeah, we discussed this one. We discussed this one. This one, yes, discussed.
Firmware.
Yes,
Yeah.
from and the only minor topics are there, right? Data processing
Yeah.
cycle discuss, and yes, then usages of ICT. I think we have discussed that also earlier, but let's discuss in the next day and finish the lesson.
Yeah.
First
Then
lesson
first
can be,
lesson.
yeah, that can be finished next day. So these are small lessons can be finished quickly, right?
Like how many lessons total we have? Totally?
Altogether, there are 13, but the priority will be given for 11,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So because this one and the last one, especially the IoT and the new trends of ICT, most of only one or two question, not even two question, only one question you'll get most probably. But anyway, we can discuss that. So,
Okay.
right, 11 lessons, then this one, then number systems. I think it's easy for you, but anyway, we'll do that. Can be
Let's
done
do it.
fast away.
Okay. Yeah.
The logic gates and number systems, I think try to finish within 3 days, but you have to be supportive, right? Do the work,
Yeah.
do homework, can
Okay.
finish within 3 days. And then that is two lessons, right? Number system,
Yeah.
one lesson, then logic gate, another lesson, then 3 lessons over.
Logic gates, shall we do a bit properly?
How mixed up?
Sorry?
No. Like no, it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah, I think we can finish maximum 4 days.
Okay, then okay.
Maximum
That's
4 days we can finish that logic gate, but all 3 lessons can be finished within 4 days. That is maximum. So would be easy. So then the next one will be so next big lesson is HTML. Again, we need like around 10 days, 10 so 20 hours to finish. So, but if you double the work, can finish within 5 days.
Okay, sir.
HTML, PHP, and the MySQL is also practical subject. These are practicals, the Python, MySQL, PHP, and the networking and OS. Networking and OS, again, we can finish quickly. But again, networking will take more time. OS can do quickly. Those are the main chapters. Only problem here is, I think, the Python. So we have to do a little more. HTML and PHP critical. So, but still, if you like, you can join with the Saturday or Sunday class. That option is there.
Okay. So
So
when is that?
I'm going to start the networking lesson next week. In the
Next week, right?
yeah. So the first day is next week. It's in Saturday.
Coming Saturday, right?
Yeah, coming Saturday. You can just if you can stay for 2 hours, it's really beneficial. Then you can parallelly
Yeah,
finish.
what time?
The time is networking will be started from 6 to 8, 6 to 8 either side.
PM, no?
So
6 to
night,
8
yeah,
PM.
right.
Okay.
So give a try will be beneficial, right? Because
Yes.
there are only few students are there. Not don't worry, only few are there. Like
Okay.
on so around 10 maximum 10. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So it's easy. So because that theory lesson we are not doing in a faster track. Slowly we will cover within 2 months we will cover that slowly. But you will understand the lesson very well when we do it slowly.
So then how about the link?
Link can be sent.
Okay. Okay.
Link can be sent. I'll send the link today itself if you want. I'll send that link. Then you can join that.
Okay.
But it's better to send it that day, no? Otherwise you will forget.
Yeah.
I'll send
Like one day before, like on Friday.
Okay, then I'll do that. Like
Okay.
right. Then with that I'll stop.